How many children would you like to have?
As many as I can have.
So you were involved in a long distance relationship.
You said I wasn't involved in a
You
long
you you
distance.
were, you were involved in a long distance relationship.
Well, the thing was,
You were involved in a long distance relationship.
hmm
Turn the volume down a little bit on your side.
okay, is that
Okay.
better?
Yeah, because sometimes I get a little feedback. So if you guys were having to fly to see one another, man, that's a long distance relationship.
hmm
By definition, I don't classify those as real.
Oh my goodness, really?
No, because you're not close
Why?
enough. Because I'm grown and I know a lot more than you do.
No, I believe
No,
you.
I'm
I'm
just
not
kidding. I'm just
doubting
joking.
that.
But because look what you just taught. Because all you have to do is be on your best behavior for 2 or 3 days, and women will tend to believe that when because you'll take that and carry over. But see, I'm not opposed. Most of your let me say this right now. Most of your intendeds are going to be long distance ladies. But it's different when you're dealing with the man who's already on his purpose and knows what he wants. Because men like that move in a different way. You were dealing with somebody who was younger, who was just putting on a front. Because when the rubber met the road, you had to deal with him, his mother, everything else. And it sounds to me like he was a 25-year-old young man. He didn't know what he wanted. So let's move forward. Um, how many children would you like to have?
As many as I can have.
I don't. I don't like imprecise. I mean, I like precision. Give me a
Yeah, but I'm
number,
not going to
please.
make that decision by
I'm you.
myself because I'm
I
not going to
want
have
to. I
kids by
want to. I
myself.
want a number. You cannot. Okay, if you were paying me $10,000 for
hmm
this, you wouldn't come in with that lackadaisical attitude.
I don't have a lackadaisical
Meaning,
attitude.
I
That's so
meaning
judgy.
meaning. Well, I'm going to judge.
Okay, I'll
Now,
tell
now,
you. I'll
now,
just
now,
tell you.
check that shit.
Four
Oh
kids
no,
would
oh
make me
no. Okay,
happy.
no, now you don't have to do this. You watch
Okay.
my show. You know you're going down the wrong path with me. Because I just asked a simple question and you made it confrontational when it didn't have to be.
I did.
I asked you how many kids you want. As many kids as I can have. Okay, but how many would you? I don't want to make that decision by myself. Anyway,
hmm
this is why men tend to avoid attorneys. I'm just gonna be honest. Why men tend to avoid attorneys? 4 kids. 4 kids. I'm gonna ask the other questions. Do you want to have to work uh, to pay substantial bills after you're married and pregnant with the first child?
I'm definitely okay with working.
But do you want to have to?
I don't want to have to.
Okay. You see how different those answers are? The question I ask is, do you want to have to? That's actually the truth. Then you say, I don't mind, is actually um, diplomacy. It's not real. I just want to know the reality. You really want 4 kids. You really don't want to have to work once you're pregnant. Okay. What percentage of the overall family financial load would you like to have to be responsible for a lifetime after you're married?
What percentage?
Mhm.
I would probably prefer to make a calculation based off of the income that we both bring to the
If
table.
you are not married, what percentage of your financial load are you going to have to carry for a lifetime?
All of it.
Okay, then make a percentage off of that.
Okay.
See,
So
see, I'm gonna tell you.
myself.
See, this is the problem. This is why you ladies can't tend to find anything because you think by keeping all your options open, it gives you the maximum amount, and it doesn't. It leaves you confused. The questions I'm asking are questions that you and women who are serious about marriage should have been asking 10 years ago. So, you know, if you don't get married, you're responsible for paying for everything for the rest of your life. So, when you are married, what do you want to have to be responsible for paying for the rest of your life? What percentage of the overall financial picture?
50%.
Okay. Do you understand why that question is important?
Absolutely.
All right. So 4 kids, and what state would you like to live in?
In Georgia.
Okay. Uh, how much what would be the household annual income necessary to support a family of 4 and 2 married adults in a middle class to upper middle class lifestyle?
$150,000.
What state do you live in right now?
I live in Georgia.
150,000 for 6 people. For 6 people. Like, think about that again.
Hmm.
That's not enough. It's it for if you have 4 daughters, four cars, 4 college funds, 4 weddings, Christmas, holidays, travel, $150,000 for a labor attorney?
Are you saying just my salary?
No, I'm saying how much
Oh,
would the household income be for all 6 people? How much would you need to make as a household?
I haven't thought about how much we would need to make as a household.
Well, then you can't determine. Then you can't. Okay, see, it's like you ladies go out and you want a car, but you don't run any budgets. You don't do any background report. You just go drive something and say, "Give it to me." Now, you didn't pick a law school this way. I'm quite sure. Neither did you pick. You didn't pick a degree program or a career path.
Right.
And as a counselor, you cannot be this imprecise. So if you sat down with the matchmaker, so you'd be happy if they came back and said, "Well, if you just want an average guy, we got them plenty for you. Here's $42,000 a year, Aaron." And you'd be like, "Okay, thank you. That was a good $10,000." So this is a good initial call because I'm going to say something. So I'm going to go past you. When I sat down and interviewed matchmakers, I'm going to tell you this is one of the major reasons matchmakers told me that they didn't have a lot of black clients because they said black people weren't serious about matchmaking. They didn't think about anything. They just was kind of all over the place, just vague. And this was professional black women. So if you know the kind of lifestyle you want to have if you never get married, right?
Right.
Then what the kind of lifestyle do you want to have with a husband and for your children? Or is it up to him?
No. But that's why I called, because I think that those are things that sometimes we don't know to be preparing for, to be thinking about and writing down. So I appreciate that, because I didn't really want to make up my mind, because I do feel like there's other factors to consider when thinking about children and incomes and all of that. Just because I want 4 kids, what if I can't have 4 kids?
Y'all
Just because,
overcomplicate shit.
okay.
Bottom line is there's a baseline.
Hmm.
There's a baseline. There's a baseline. And what you got, and what I find you ladies don't like to do is black women like to be non-committal. You don't like titles. You don't like structure. You don't like discipline. You don't like boxes because it takes away what black women prize more than anything else: your independence, i.e., your freedom. Reality locks you down, and I'm locking it down. So if you want 4 kids, do you want them to be able to go to college if necessary?
Absolutely.
Do you want them to have to accrue student loan debt, or would you like for the mother and father to be able to pay for that?
Debt free.
So, what would a house, you want to live in Georgia? What part of Georgia?
I would like to live in the city of Atlanta.
And what part of Atlanta?
In Buckhead.
And what size home? You want to live in a home?
Yes,
Do you want each of your children to have their own room?
absolutely.
So you need at least 4 children. You want a guest room
Yes,
and a master bedroom.
yes,
That's
with an
that is a
ensuite.
that is a 6-bedroom home.
Mm-hmm.
How much would a home like that cost in Buckhead? Ballpark it.
A
hundred
couple
thousand
million.
dollars. Thank you.
Yeah.
So, how much money is it? Would you have to make annually for the family, for the household, to have college funds for the kids, cars? Do you want to travel
Eventually.
with the children? Do you want to travel with the kids, or do you want to not travel until all the kids are gone?
No, I would love to travel. I think that's important.
Do you want to travel domestically or internationally?
Both.
So, what I don't understand, honestly, as a counselor, as an attorney, you pass the bar.
Mm-hmm.
How you can almost be 30 years old and you could answer all these questions, but you never thought about how much money it's going to take.
Well, because everything doesn't happen all at once. What I'm making right
Doesn't,
now
but
won't be
doesn't
making
it,
in
but
5 years.
say again?
I'm saying everything doesn't happen all at once. You don't have 4 kids all at once. You don't get married right away. So you have time to build and plan.
That makes no sense
Why?
because it depends. Do people make money exponentially or are they pretty much locked into a trajectory and a career path?
I don't think I'm locked in. I think I have
I said,
unlimited
do
earning
people?
potential. Hmm.
So do people? Now you're not answering the questions, counselor.
I'm thinking.
Man, that's not a hard question. People have unlimited earning potential. Do they?
Not most people.
No. What percentage of people have to have unlimited earning potential? You have to have a professional degree, a physician, an attorney, some sort of sales, or possibly entrepreneur. But most people have a ceiling on their income.
Right.
I've started to say this is going to be far more difficult working with you. Yeah, you professional ladies are y'all not a clue. I'm just like, yeah, because this happens often. Y'all just like, well, but if I brought a man in here who was working as a Amazon factory worker, you'd say he's not a good match.
No, I wouldn't say that though.
If he was making what the average man was making, he would be socioeconomically undesirable. $21 an hour for the rest of his life, $42,000 a year is somebody you would have 4 children with.
I would be open to it if he's the right person. You think that you know me and that that's my answer. That's my
I don't give a shit
response.
if I know you or not, man. But I
Okay.
know you're full of shit right now.
Oh
Cause
my goodness.
I know you're full of shit right now because I know you're full of fucking shit. And that's what
Why?
gets me pissed off because you said, I want to live in Atlanta. I want to live in Buckhead. I want to have 4 kids and I would like to travel domestically and internationally. And you only want to be responsible for 50% of the family income. He can't afford that. A man who's making average money can't travel internationally. He really can't travel domestically. They don't take vacations. Do you know any average earning people?
And that's fine. I would be willing to pay more money
But
if my
more
husband didn't make
still
enough.
wouldn't be enough, man. So, okay. So you said you want to be responsible for 50%, but how much would it be? How much would you need to have as an income for a household for 6 people?
A lot more than $150,000.
What is it then?
I don't know the exact calculation,
Give me
and
a
that doesn't
ballpark. Give
really
me a ball.
bother me.
I don't. Well, I'm about, man. I'm to be honest. I'm really doing my best.
Okay.
But I'm about to hang up on this, and I'm about to do something you're probably not gonna like. So you can either try to work with the process, or I can just end this and go to somebody who's gonna be more receptive. Because I need this information.
Okay. So you want to know what income
About
would
how
I
much,
need?
yeah, man, a family of 4
Right.
living in Buckhead, how much would you need to have as an annual income to support the kind of lifestyle you imagine for yourself?
Let's just assume $500,000.
Thank you. because that's
Okay.
about what it is.
Okay.
Because a family of three is right around 375. So at 500,000, even if we said 425, let's say four and a quarter, and you're responsible for half of that, right?
Right.
The rest would be 210. $210,000, and the man comes in only certain kinds of income generation, certain kind of age range. What age range would a man be earning $210,000 or more? What decade would he be in?
He'd probably be an 80s baby.
So he'd be what? How minimum age?
Minimum, I mean, 40, maybe 30, 37, 36.
45 plus. 45 plus, making that kind of money legally.
Yeah.
45 plus. And see, this is what women who were taught to really marriage minded, they've been running these numbers, but this is not new information. This is why
Mm-hmm.
you guys are behind the game. So 200, so you'd be 45. So automatically I made you look at that number because now you're like, damn, that's old.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you said you don't want to have to work after you're pregnant. So you mean you want to and you got a guy who's 25. That means that man never would he have been able to sustain that income? Likely not. Even if he was making it. All right, $200,000. So he would need what kind of professions make that? Obviously, law, medicine, high end sales. But what percentage of men in this country earn that kind of money? Out of 100%, you're talking about the top 3%. And then that's when it gets into height, weight, dress size, looks, and everything else. And this is why it's so important. Men who make that kind of money tend to want women who are more traditional. And what this call right here is kind of showing is you're far more modern.
Mm-hmm.
You haven't even thought about this man. So he may be socioeconomically attractive, but when you sit down and talk to him, everything's going to likely fall apart because he's looking for something different. So if you want four kids and to live that lifestyle, either you're going to be able to find a man that's up there, or you would have to adjust it. What's the minimum amount of children you would want to have?
One.
Yeah. All right. So how long would you like to date before you are actually engaged?
I would be happy dating for 2 years.
2 years?
Yeah, if it had to last that long, then I would be okay with that.
That's a long time to date.
Well,
It's a long time to date, man. That's a long time to date. Why? I mean, but I'm curious. Why 2 years? Why, what would you what? Why would you need to date someone 2 years that you couldn't find out in the first 3 to 6 months?
I don't think I need to date them for two
Okay.
years, but I would be open to it.
Okay. I would say personal advice. That's a wrong-headed thing to be thinking at your age.
Okay.
You don't have 2 years to waste
Mm-hmm.
because you're either going to get on down the path, pick right and move on, or end up doing this whole dating thing over and over again. So, um, of the people I know who've gotten engaged and married, most of them got married, engaged in under 6 months. When a man knows what he wants, he kind of goes after it. So, if you were your mother and father married?
No,
Okay. Four children. Let's talk about would you want them to go to private school, public school, homeschool?
I would be fine with them going to a public school if we lived in a good neighborhood.
Okay. See, all these questions are important, folks. Is because so it kind of starts to map out what life is like because in our country, women have not been really asked to really clarify what it is. It's a dream,
Right.
but now this is far more finite. Now the question is, what does a man who's making the kind of money you want, $250,000 a year, what does he want from a woman?
Yeah, he wants a woman who's going to be supportive, someone who's going to listen and be respectful and love him and encourage him and be patient. Because obviously, if you're making that kind of money, you're probably working really hard.
Right. So men making that kind of money want cooperation.
Right.
So, but you're going to have a busy career yourself. So how's that going to work?
And that's why I'm okay with not working.
But if you don't work, you have to substantially go down in your standard of life unless you marry a rich man.
And I will be okay with that because I'm not a very materialistic person.
Okay. That sounds good, but let's test it.
Well, that was a very, very nice chat with Kevin Samuels. It was very civil. Of course, I want to believe that you as the listener, you as the person that has been watching, you have picked a point or two. And if you really missed this video, I want to give you a breakdown. I want to give my reaction to the video. And I want to believe that at the end of it, you give me what your thoughts are in the comment section. Now, I want to give you a simple background about this woman because I have a feeling you missed it in the video. This particular modern woman is a 29-year-old woman that is coming to Kevin Samuels single. Because this video or this chat, Kevin wanted to talk to single women only. Now, this is one of the callers or one of the people that requested to have a chat with Kevin Samuels. She's 29 years old. And of course, her previous relationship was with a guy that was 25 years old. That means this woman was 4 years older than the guy. She's a lawyer, and I think she's a fresh graduate or someone that has just joined in the law field. Now, there are a few things that we need to talk about. Of course, key points. Of course, I'm giving my reaction. I have to talk about a few things that I feel bothered, or I think any person that has been watching the video will have to question themselves about them. One thing in particular is, guys, relationships that are long distance or what you call long distance relationships are very, very difficult. If the chances of them working out, I would say 20% or even 10% because it's very, very difficult. Kevin Samuels went ahead and told her that why he believes it's very difficult for them to work out is people act up. If you're meeting someone over the weekend, if you're meeting someone only like 3 days a month or a week, someone can be on their best behaviors for those 3 days. You never get to see their worst behaviors because people are acting up. You don't get a chance to see them all throughout the week. And what I can say to that is indeed long distance relationships don't work out. There are a couple of reasons that's why they don't work out. One, there's lack of physical intimacy. Physical closeness can strengthen emotional bonds, and the lack of it can even weaken a relationship over time. There is anxiety. You are there. You don't know whether the guy is cheating. You don't know whether the girl you left behind is doing something bad. Physical separation in long distance relationship can lead to unfound fears and thoughts of infidelity. Oh, guys. Communication issues. Some people are very busy. There is a difference in time zones. Communication can feel exhausting. Partners may avoid even communicating sometimes. That's a problem with long distance relationships. And I think that's why it even didn't work. There are extreme emotions. Research suggests that feelings of love, anger, jealousy, and excitement can be more extreme in long distance relationships. There's a differing view on commitment. Partners may have differing views on even commitment, by the way. Long distance relationships should be something the least of all go for. I wouldn't want you to go for long distance, and I have a feeling Kevin Samuels brought that very clearly to the modern woman. Now, another thing that we saw when Kevin asked her how many kids she wants to have, she went and said as many as possible. As many as possible. If you have been listening to Kevin Samuels over time, that's not an answer that he really wants to listen to. At least be definite and tell Kevin, I want to have 6 children. I want to have 3 children. And of course, when Kevin went ahead and grilled her a little, she went and said she wants to have 4 children. Guys, 4 children too is a very big number. Having 4 children in America right now, or in the USA, or even in other developed country, is very difficult. When you have 4 children, you must be a top earner. You must be earning a lot of money. 4 children, that's a lot. A lot. That means it's difficult for you to travel for trips with the 4 children. That's a lot of money. A lot of money. It's difficult. That's what I can say. It's very difficult. It's very difficult. It's very difficult. Children bring stress. There's marital, parenthood. Raising up 4 children is difficult. That's why even some men or women tend to even leave their jobs to concentrate on raising the children at home. Children is difficult. Health risks. Multiple pregnancies can have health risks. You could have the first child well, second child well, but the third child, you could have severe complications that could even hinder your health. Even overpopulation, some countries prefer you having 1 child. We see India, we see China. When you have very many children, you burden the economy, you burden the community. You even overpopulate some schools, like community schools. Developmental benefits. When you have very many children, it's difficult for you to develop. Even the children themselves. 1 child has grown up, he has grown up, of course he's richer. He has to also take care of other siblings. It's difficult for you, the father, the mother, and as well even the children themselves. Many children, it's a disaster. I would say, leave the children alone. Have 1 or 2. That's what I can say. Okay, that's my idea. That's my idea. There's another point that I realized as well. When Kevin asked her on on her financial contribution in the family, she went ahead and said 50%, but I have a feeling that she didn't understand the actual question. That's why she went ahead and said 50%, because we know many women don't want to contribute to their family financially. It's a fact. Even research puts it very clear that many times male friends complain that women they don't want to contribute to the financial burden of the family, of the home. They mention that most women want to keep their money to themselves. And it's true. What I'm saying here and what I've been reading is the research that has been produced, and it's a fact. Some years back, when I used to discuss such things with women, you would sense that women always want to keep their money to themselves. Most women don't want, and when you find a lady contributing 50%, it's difficult. And I have a feeling she didn't understand that question, and that's why even the tone, the face, she gave the 50% answer, but she wasn't like that. She didn't have that boldness of saying, yes, I'm willing to contribute 50% to the relationship. Well, there are some of the few things I really saw. Of course, there are other things that she kept on talking about, but I would like to hear what your thoughts are. One thing that really picked from this conversation is that the conversation was very civil. It was very okay. There was no back and forth. The conversation was very, what you can say, very demure, very cutesy. Well, there are many things you can learn from this conversation. And Kevin Samuels was very liberal and was very okay talking to this modern woman. The conversation went on and on and on and on. And I have a feeling she picked some lessons. And I want you, the lady out there, to pick something from Kevin Samuels, because his information is very okay. It applies to all continents. It applies to all countries. And it applies to all men and all women. If you have the ears, listen. If you have the eyes, please see and learn from Kevin Samuels. I want to listen to what your thoughts are. I want to read what your thoughts are. Leave your thoughts in the comment section. Thank you, guys. I will say, if you're new here, please consider subscribing. And if you don't know where we get this information, please, you can check out Kevin Samuels' official YouTube channel, which is Kevin Samuels. Get there, view more videos, subscribe, like, share. Be blessed and have a nice time. Let's meet on our next upload.